All right, now we're on activity A. This should be the second page in your packet. We're trying to describe climate. On the World Map tab, select New York from Location 1 menu. So you go back over to your Gizmo. What you'll do is select Barcelona and go to New York. Climate is the average of the weather conditions in a location over many years. In this gizmo, you will focus on the four aspects of climate: temperature, wind speed, precipitation, rain and snow, and humidity, how much moisture is in the air. The other climate characteristics include cloud cover and the hours of sunlight. Question: how do we describe climate? Number one, predict the look at New York's position on the globe. What do you notice? So you go over to your gizmo, go over to the world map. New York is here in the United States on the eastern coast. Describe or write down what you notice about where New York is in relative to its position in the world. How high is it off of the equator? How low is it off of the North Pole? Just describe its location. Number 1B. Based on this, what do you think New York's climate will be? So they're not expecting you to know this answer. Just write down the best thing that you know. If you've seen anything in movies or on videos, write down what do you think New York's climate is. Again, you can describe things like temperature, wind speed, precipitation, humidity, cloud cover, and hours of sunlight in your answer. Number 2, observe. Select the landscape tab, drag the slider from January to December. What changes do you see throughout the year? So you go back over to landscape. We are selected, or we're on New York. We're going to start in January, go to February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and December. Going back to our question, it says, what changes do you see throughout the year? So describe the changes you saw as you dragged the slider across the different months. B. How many distinct seasons do you notice? Seasons like summer, spring, fall, and autumn. So, how many different seasons did you see as we went through the slider? Number 3, analyze. Go to the Data tab. Look at the average temperature graph and table. What is the general shape of the graph? So you go back over to your gizmo, you go to the top tab and you click on Data, and you're looking at what is the shape of the graph on the right side of the page. Describe that graph. What are the highest and lowest month temperatures? What would you estimate is the average temperature for the year? Hint, the average temperature for the year would be about halfway in between the highest and the lowest temperature. So what you're going to do is look at the lowest temperature. On the left side of the graph tells us the average temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. And so you're trying to estimate what that position is on the bottom left. And then go to the top. What is the average temperature, or what is the highest temperature at the graph? Again, you're estimating. and then the average would be about halfway in between. So what is relatively this temperature? If you want to zoom in, you can always zoom in to get a little bit more of an accurate reading. The circle resets it. The numbers here on the left represent the numbers in the graph. So write down the highest temperature, the lowest temperature, and your average temperature. Select two locations and choose Barcelona for the second location. Based on what you see, which location experiences the greater seasonal change? Explain. So you go down to two locations in the bottom left. You go over to the second location, which is Kansas City. Click on it, go to Barcelona. Out of these two, New York City and Barcelona, which one has a bigger change in seasons? Write which one, New York or Barcelona, and then explain how do you know that by looking at the graph.